Welcome back to the Hill Report, where we break down the biggest moments from Washington and explain what they actually mean for everyday Americans. If you're tired of mainstream media spin and want the raw facts, the real policy context, and the conservative implications behind the headlines, you are in the right place. Let's dive into it.
Here's the problem. Under the enhanced premium tax credit, if your insurance premium goes up, if the insurance company decides to pay more, they just get more subsidy from the taxpayer. Now, insurance companies get paid no matter what, and it doesn't matter how expensive the tab is. There's absolutely no incentive to bring the cost down.
What you are about to watch is a masterclass in fiscal responsibility and conservative problem solving. Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, who is also a physician, took to the Senate floor to address a massive elephant in the room, our nation's crippling healthcare affordability crisis. For years, the American public has been told by the left that the only way to fix healthcare is to pump more taxpayer dollars into the Affordable Care Act via enhanced premium tax credits. But as conservatives, we know that simply throwing money at a broken system doesn't lower costs, it just subsidizes inflation. Senator Cassidy lays out a brilliant alternative that centers on a fundamental conservative principle: empowering the individual rather than the bureaucracy. Instead of letting Washington funnel billions of dollars directly to massive corporate insurance providers, he proposes giving that exact same funding directly to American families through pre-funded flexible spending accounts. This gives the consumer the power to shop around, find bargains, and keep the savings. Pay close attention to how this completely shifts the debate, because it forces the Democrats into a very uncomfortable position. If you appreciate straightforward free market political analysis, make sure you're subscribed to the Hill Report and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Senator from Louisiana.
Madam President, I'm going to try and present a way forward for Democrats, Republicans, and Americans out of our current situation with a different proposal than people have already thought of. Now, the government should have been shut down for 38 days, and tomorrow we're going to vote again, and tomorrow the vote will again fail. But in Americans, Congress is frustrated. We need to open the government. So, if to open the government we need to talk about health care, let's talk about health care. Let's have a conversation in the family. We have an affordability crisis, and health insurance is part of it. Now, this is personal to me. I'm a doctor, practiced in a hospital for the uninsured and the poorly insured for 20 years. And many of those people that came to see me were middle-income Americans who could not afford their medical bills and could not afford insurance. I want to see this solved. But if we're going to solve it now in this present circumstance, we need to move beyond entrenched ways of thinking that have settled us in our camps and refuse to allow us to listen to the other person. And I thank some of my Democratic colleagues for being here. We've got to be creative. Now, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, tried to make health care affordable by giving insurance companies more money. The enhanced premium tax credits, EPTC, is the latest example. Next year it would send $26 billion to insurers, hoping that families see smaller bills. But that actually doesn't make health care less expensive. And for some, it actually makes the health insurance more expensive if you're not getting subsidized care on the exchange. So we can do better than just papering over the cost with subsidies. Instead of paying insurance companies to manage our money, let's trust Americans with a pre-funded, flexible savings account worth as much as the enhanced premium tax credit that they would receive. Let me repeat that. A pre-funded, not out of their salary, but pre-funded from the federal taxpayer, equivalent in value to the enhanced premium tax credit that they would receive. Now, let me make it clear. I'm not speaking for the Republican caucus. I'm not speaking for President Trump. I'm not even speaking as the Help Committee chairman. I'm speaking as a senator and as an American that sees us at an impasse and is trying to think differently about how we can move forward.
Take a look at this. Here's what stood out to me about that exchange. Senator Cassidy absolutely dismantled the central illusion of Obamacare's subsidy structure. Let's talk about why this matters so deeply to the conservative movement and to every taxpayer in this country. For over a decade, the standard defense of the Affordable Care Act has been to point at the subsidies and claim the government is making care cheaper. But Cassidy exposed the structural flaw in that argument. When the federal government writes a blank check via these enhanced premium tax credits, it sends that money directly to insurance companies. As he pointed out, if an insurance company raises its rates, the government subsidy simply increases to cover it. The insurance companies get paid no matter what. There is absolutely zero market incentive for these massive corporations to bring costs down, and there is no transparency for the patient. This is where the debate gets interesting. Cassidy is offering a true market-based alternative that aligns perfectly with conservative values. Trust the American consumer. By putting those same funds into a pre-funded flexible spending account controlled by the patient, you instantly unleash the power of competition. Suddenly, that mother or father has an incentive to find the absolute best cash price for dental care, prescriptions, or a doctor's visit, because if they save money, that money stays in their pocket. It transitions the citizen away from being a dependent of the state and treats them like a capable consumer. Now, let's look at the rebuttal from Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell, because this is where we see a fascinating political implication. Senator Cantwell tried to defend the status quo by talking about protecting the marketplace and lowering the uninsured rate. But then she made an absolute gotcha admission that completely undermined her own party's platform. She openly stated, "I don't know why we don't spend all our time driving down the cost of health care." Think about that for a second. Many voters will likely see this as a staggering concession. A high-ranking Democrat, after years of defending this bureaucratic system, is standing on the Senate floor admitting that Washington has spent all its time inflating corporate subsidies rather than fixing the actual underlying cost of health care. She explicitly agreed that nobody wants to subsidize expensive insurance and that we need market mechanisms to drive down costs. From a policy evaluation standpoint, the conservative argument won the day here. Cassidy's proposal doesn't even disrupt the current insurance markets for the upcoming year. It plugs right into them. It proves that conservatives aren't just the party of no when it comes to health care. We are the party of smarter, consumer-driven solutions. When even the Democrats are asking why Congress isn't focusing on driving down real costs, it's a clear sign that the free market perspective is winning the intellectual argument. This has been The Hill Report. If you found this analysis valuable, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest moments from Washington. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next report.